Everyone. So the Lakers clearly have an energy problem to start games, right? They come out, they're super flat, they don't have the effort, they're not doing the things necessary to leave an impact in the first half. Then you see them go in the locker room and it's like they flip on a switch, come out the second half, and really that's where they start to try to make their push. But the problem is that several of these games, they haven't been able to dig out of the hole because they're so far behind, right? Like the Orlando game, the game was essentially over at halftime, right? And so now they're trying to scratch and claw, and there's zero margin for error at that point. And if the other team just goes on even a small run, right? Like we saw in the Orlando game, they come out of the second half, they go on like a 5-0 run, and it just put the game so far out of reach, where usually it's like, okay, you're tied, or, say they're up like 8 now, and it's like, okay, well, that's nothing. We go on one run, boom, it's tie game, or we have the lead or something, and then we can close out in the fourth. But no, the Lakers like to get down by 20. They did it in the Clipper game. Luckily, they were able to come back in that game, but they need to solve that issue. It's becoming a real problem for these players. And I made a video diving into Jared Vanderbilt and how I thought that he would help a lot, just because I think his energy is contagious, right? You're never going to question his effort and his energy and what he brings to the defensive side of the basketball. And then that trickles down, right? Because now everybody feels like they need to chip in. Everyone feels like they need to have that energy. And you don't have to wait for everybody to pick it up, right? But in the meantime, because we have no idea when Jared Vanderbilt's going to return, I think the only way to truly solve this is LeBron James gets established early. So LeBron, what he likes to do is he likes to kind of coast and conserve energy, especially for that fourth quarter, which he's been great this year in the fourth, just closing out games for us. And he kind of then just picks and chooses his spots. And, he tries to get Anthony Davis going. He tries to get, D'Lo and Reeves going and all of those things. And, yes, Anthony Davis has been great. He's been our most consistent guy. I mean, the dude's averaging 26 and 13 with 3 blocks a game. Outside of that Denver game, which it wasn't even the full game, it was just one half. So Anthony Davis has basically one bad half of basketball. Other than that, he's been great the entirety of this year. But even when he is having a dominant first quarter, it just doesn't seem to have the impact on the other guys as when LeBron starts to get going. I think a lot of the Lakers' pickup in the second half is because LeBron starts to pick it up, and especially in that fourth quarter, right? We have seen LeBron starts picking it up and locks down and picks up his intensity, goes and gives you 10 points in the fourth quarter. But because his intensity and his energy is raised, you start seeing everyone else start going, right? Austin Reeves starts turning around. D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis, again, because it's contagious. LeBron starts hitting threes, starts knocking down shots. Everyone starts knocking down threes, starts knocking down shots, right? He's the leader, right? He's the guy that is steering the ship. And I think the only way you're going to fix this is LeBron gets going early, right? That doesn't mean first play, first possession, LeBron James needs to go and get a bucket. No, I don't mind if he's okay, let me see if D'Lo, okay, well, now it's a 7-2 lead. Let me go put my head down. Let me go get a bucket, right? And at least bring the energy to keep us in the game enough to where we're constantly in striking range, right? I'm not saying he has to come out and score the Lakers' first 10 points, right? But I need to see him basically just be the guy to keep us in the game. Or, if he wants to be that, if he wants to just, hey, let me be aggressive early, right? That seems to be rising the tide for the Lakers. I just don't think it's a coincidence that, when you're watching these games, LeBron starts picking it up in the back half of the quarters, and then everyone else starts to. Right? And it's just with the Orlando game, you even kind of saw that a little bit. Problem was Orlando just had such a big lead, and they never cooled down and were just, just out hustling us the whole time. But LeBron started trying to like put his head down and get to the basket more. And, he hit a couple threes, and then you just saw Austin Reeves start hitting threes and stuff. So I do think that LeBron James is the establisher, right? He always has been. And obviously there's a real issue still of like when LeBron goes off the court, right? Lakers are still really bad. They need to solve that too. They're going to have to figure it out without LeBron regardless. But I do think that when LeBron is in the game, I think that he needs to be more aggressive early. The concern is if the game is tight in the fourth quarter, does LeBron have the energy to bring it home? Which is why I think it's a very fine line, and it might be tough. But to me, we've seen him kind of pick it up, like I said, in the third and then really in the fourth. I would rather him pick it up and bring us into the game in the first quarter, really establish us and get us going early, right? Then, like, maybe even, like, shorten his minutes in the second half and then shorten his minutes in the third, which Darvin Ham kind of already is doing, right? We've seen on several occasions where in the third quarter, Darvin Ham will play him like 2 or 3 minutes in the third and conserve him for the fourth. Well, I think do that still, and then maybe do that a little more in the second. So basically, instead of him playing a good chunk in the first and trying to get everybody going, right? Then playing like, a fair amount in the second, little in the third, and then basically the whole fourth. I would rather him play less in the second, still play what he's doing in the third, a couple minutes in the third, and then during that time, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, that LeBron is in the game, be more aggressive and be more assertive and just go and get buckets, right? Maybe him just completely take over the point guard duties to start the game and then to close the game, because he's already doing it to close the game, right? And then you could even, if you wanted to, change the starting lineup, maybe go with a Prince in the starting lineup, and then Vando also when he returns, or you could go Christian Wood or whatever. I just think that would be the best approach right now for this Lakers team, considering how much they are struggling to start games. Because you don't have anybody that is just like an explosive scorer, right? Like, you don't have a Kyrie who can go off for 20 and a quarter, right? Because he's just so talented and can score. I mean, Anthony Davis can, but he needs to be set up, right? You can't just inbound the ball to him and he can just cross dudes up and get to the basket and, step back three, and if he gets hot, he's going. No, he has to get established in position, and then you have to dump the ball down into him and then allow him to go to work, right? So it's just completely different. The Lakers don't have that guy that can just go get you a bucket whenever he wants, except for LeBron James, right? Like D'Lo and Reeves, like the rhythm guys, right? Like they're guys that, yes, they shoot and they're super efficient when they're on, but like D'Lo's not getting you, a 20-point first. Austin Reeves is not getting you a 20-point first. But what it would do is LeBron, if he's aggressive and establishes early, then that may in turn open up more for everybody else, because now teams are like, okay, forget everybody else. LeBron is killing us. And I know that sucks, and that's a lot of pressure to put on year 21, 39-year-old LeBron James, but he's still at that high level. The concern is just you don't want to wear him down, right? But that's why I think if you basically stick to the same game plan, then you may be able to kind of conserve him throughout the course of the season. He just needs to be more aggressive in the first rather than like having little micro doses of spots where he's aggressive, right? Because you'll see like every quarter he'll go on like a 6-0 run or something. And like that's how he gets his like 24 or whatever, right? Like I'd rather see him just maybe go get 10 points in the first and then follow that up with like 10 points in the fourth, and then he's just giving you like, 4 or 6 points through the second and third. And if he establishes early, we may have more games where he might not even really have to be that closer down the stretch in the fourth. And he could kind of just coast, or we could rest him a little bit or whatever. Right? Like that I think is probably the best approach, at least for now. Right? Because yes, like D'Lo can go get buckets, and he's had quarters where he's gone off and given you like 10 points or whatever. Like almost every game, he has like a quarter where he goes and gets you like, goes on like a 6-10-0 run, like almost by himself. Right? He does it all the time. Like if you watch him do it, but he usually needs to build up to it. Like same thing with Reeves. Like you'll see Reeves a lot of times, like more times than not, will like miss his first 2 shots. Right? Like he even did it in like the Orlando game. He missed his like first or second shot, and then he started hitting shots, right? And it's just like, because again, they need to find their groove. They need to get in their rhythm. And then once they got that, then it's like, okay, now they're starting to hit shots. And same thing with Anthony Davis. Like I said, you have to set Anthony Davis up. So he can't just take the ball and go, where LeBron can. And nobody can stop LeBron. I mean, still, we've watched 6 games of this already, and LeBron gets whatever he wants whenever he wants it. Right? Like, so I would like to see LeBron be more assertive in the first quarter. He's always liked to let guys get going, right? It's kind of always been his thing. He's always kind of like, hey, I can go get mine whenever I want, so let me get D'Lo going. Let me get Reeves going, right? And that's why I think either A, you just give us a quick scoring burst to start the game. I mean, you're still going to need other guys to hit shots. But if LeBron elevates his energy for that first quarter, I think everyone else will also start better. Because we're seeing LeBron elevate his production and just his energy in the fourth quarter. And everybody's playing better in the fourth. Right? So I just think that, again, LeBron's energy is contagious. So if he comes out and really establishes early, gets after it defensively, hits a couple early shots, I think that will get everyone else going, and then we won't have these early start issues, and the Lakers can kind of get into a better groove, rather than like we're counting on, a Prince, a Reeves, or a D'Lo, or, when Vando comes back, a Vando, to basically be the tone setters offensively. I don't know if that's going to happen, where I would rather it just, like, LeBron go get 10 points in the first, get you a couple assists, you got to keep AD involved, right? So, which LeBron could go get 10 points and get 5 assists to AD in the first quarter, if he wanted to, right? And again, I'm not saying he shouldn't get anyone else involved. He does. He needs to get other guys going also, but I just think if he just brings the energy early, I think that will kind of raise the tides for the Lakers. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree? Like, yeah, if LeBron gets established early, then that'll change for the Lakers. Do you think no, that won't? Somebody else. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.